Hello. Hi. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. Want to help you get your mojo back. So, how's everyone doing today? Elizabeth is here. Nice to see you. And let's see. Oh my gosh. Well, dreams, Mercury in retrograde in Pisces. There's a lot going on, right? For everybody. So before I even, new cafe. Yeah, it's a really nice place. So quiet. And Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo. And the planets don't make you do anything. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, it's reflected by way of aspects and angles in astrology. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I've been getting feedback from this particular Mercury in retrograde, how it feels like a doozy. It's subtle, it's quiet, but yet not. How is it for you? I have to clean my glasses right now because I can't see. Anyway, so this particular Mercury in retrograde in Pisces, we've been talking also about the Venus retrograde coming up, and I'll be back on Monday with, I've been doing a survey with clients and friends and family to let me know past Venus retrograde dates, what they've been experiencing and what has occurred and what's a potential for you too. Now, there is a hair on my face tickling me. I'm going to do a talk a little bit about say frustrated, angry, weepy this morning and listening to me makes me cry and smile at the same time. Yes, exactly. Right? Right? It's pretty amazing how suddenly, and you're a Pisces, so it's pretty amazing how this particular retrograde can feel, it's so creative and you can get lost and things are fun and, unexpected. The past comes back, and I had tea with a friend yesterday. I hadn't seen her in a couple of months, and wasn't that fun? But then there's other things that are just like ticking me off. And so we're going to be talking about that today and how we can utilize something so simple for free to help you get over it and get over yourself, So we're going to do that. And first I'm going to take a sip in my magical cup. Dean bought this for me for Christmas. So when you put hot liquid in, it turns cherry blossom red. Hot liquid, but it's not hot anymore. So, okay, I saw something on the internet. Sometimes I just scroll around and troll around and look for fun, interesting things, comedy bits or people giving readings. And there was something I saw I'd never seen before called the Jason Somebody Show. Anyway, he had a reader on, and she was standing in the audience, and he said, well, what can some of the signs expect for 2020? And she went on to talk about, Cancer, you had a tough time. Now people are going to start to like you again. And, and I could hear what she was talking about because I knew what planet she was referring to. She didn't express that, but that was cool. It was fun. And then she said, and then they picked, who else? Yeah, so they chose Capricorn. I'm like, Capricorn. Yeah, finally, you can relax in 2020 and start to lighten up and have more fun. And the audience is cheering. Who's a Capricorn? And people are raising their hand. And then she just threw something away at the end for Capricorn. It was like, aside from the great abundance you're going to experience this year, you're also going to gain weight. And people are like, what? Wait, what just happened? Wait, I thought it was supposed to be a great year. How is this possible? What are you telling me? And I got really pissed off. Okay? I got really upset because when any kind of reader tells you a thing without explaining what that can mean, they could be really profound in other areas, but we're all learning and we're all growing, and I'm doing my best not to judge readers because they have a big responsibility to bring you the utmost, highest, best information. And so when I heard her, just fling that one out there before they went to the next sign, I thought, that was not cool. Not cool. Okay. Now, here's what I would say with, because I know she was talking about Jupiter in Capricorn. And when Jupiter is in Capricorn and you're a Capricorn sun, rising, or moon, and you have Jupiter transiting your first or your sixth house in astrology, you might have the tendency to hold emotion and hold weight while you're healing. You know, because that was told to me before, and I stuck with that, and I became obsessed with it early on when I read a blurb in the magazine. Oh, Taurus, you know, you're going to have trouble losing weight your lifetime. I was like, really? And then I made it true until now. Keto. I'm like a profound, professed keto hound. And I'm 20 pounds down since May. Yeah, in a healthy way. But anyway, and then an astrologer once said to me when I was in training, oh yeah, anytime Jupiter's in your sixth house, you know, you're going to gain weight. It's just going to happen. And so, you know, me being me, I went ahead to defy gravity. And so I saw in my chart years past that Jupiter was going to be transiting my sixth house. And you know what I did? I worked out. I ate really well. I focused. I meditated. And I lost weight. And then I thought, okay, what is it that they're saying? Okay, Jupiter represents expansion and benevolence. And remember, the planet's not doing it to you. Okay? That's not happening. It's a cooperation. So if you're, Jupiter also represents, gregariousness and overindulgence, okay? And the sixth house deals with health foremost and work. So if you're in a job that you don't like and you just go for crunchy carbs at lunch because it quells the frustration, okay, you're probably going to gain weight. That's logical, right? That makes sense. If you have a health issue and it's not being dealt with, whether or not you're working, and Jupiter's transiting your sixth house, you might possibly gain weight. Okay. Until, you know, it could be inflammation. It could be insulin resistance. Let's get specific, people, reader people. Okay, that annoyed me. So I had to take a few deep breaths. And that's the technique I'm talking about. 5 deep breaths. And on the inhalation, you acknowledge your frustration. I'm so pissed off. I'm so annoyed. How irresponsible of this woman to be on national television or YouTube or wherever, being seen by thousands. Oh yeah, let me just fling it out there, Capricorn. You're going to gain weight this year. That could be so damaging to so many people. Anyway, so I was inhaling, first breath, inhaling my frustration. Grab my frustration and I slow exhale. Let it go. Second breath, inhale some of the words that I stuck with, you know, gain weight and Capricorn, and especially since I'm a Capricorn rising. And I'm working so hard to drop the weight. And who's going to tell me? You don't know me, right? So responsible reading or intuition, even your own, even if you're not doing this professionally, is bringing in those words that really bother you, exhaling, let that go. Third breath. We're finding a more neutral place now. Inhaling on the third breath. That person really bothered me. Just like we're bringing it down a notch. They really bothered me. They kind of annoyed me. They don't know any better. Maybe it was just something for entertainment purposes. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Exhale. Fourth breath. Bring it in. I was you yesterday. I might be you today, or I might be you tomorrow. Exhale, let it go. Fifth breath. I forgive. I forgive myself and others for judgments, for mishaps, for oopsies, for whoopsies. Exhale, putting compassion into the world. 5 breaths. All right, I'm going to go through that exercise again, but first let me say hello. Who's here? Come say hello to me. We are talking about the Pisces Mercury in retrograde and how the shadow side is brought out and how you can get really attached to something that pisses you off for no particular reason. I have another instance. Do you want to hear? Oh, I forgot to unplug my phone. So my husband's going to come running now from the kitchen into my office. That could have been an annoyance, but it's not. Because I've been doing my breathing and checking off my to-do list, except I forgot to unplug the phone. So, but we have to turn this around. We're going to get annoyed whether it's retrograde or not. We're going to get annoyed at people. We're going to judge. We're going to want to, express a grievance, a grudge. And you have to remind yourself that at some point, you're going to be in those shoes. You're going to be the one making the whoopsies. You're going to be the one going, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I made a mistake. Please forgive me, right? All right, it happens. Yeah, so annoyed. So annoyed. You want to hear another one? Here, I got one for you. Okay, so if you're just joining us, I'm talking about the shadow side coming out in Pisces, Mercury in retrograde. And there's going to be little annoyances that are going to start to bug us. And instead of hanging on to them, let's add it to and compile that garbage pile we have of frustrations and wounds and over lifetime and lifetime. Remember, South Node is in Capricorn. We're looking to let the past go big time. Pluto's in Capricorn, Saturn's in Capricorn, Jupiter's in Capricorn. What's going on in Capricorn? Oh, big mistake at work yesterday. And it can happen. And then I had a client call and say, what's happening? I'm so frustrated. And the petty thing, how, she couldn't get into the bank account with her card and the thing was amiss. And then she went home trying to not to make noise and she don't want to wake anyone. It was late, but her key wouldn't work. And then the thing got jammed and she had to go around to the garage. And it was like mounting frustration. When things don't go the way we want them to, it becomes like an episode of The Walking Dead, right? Okay. Let's just put it in perspective, folks. We have an ability to move through our situations without getting so attached and so frustrated and so angry that we want to draw blood. We can watch this like in a movie and think, I can't believe they just did that. I can't believe they just said that. What the hell is happening here? Why are they blah, blah? Okay, so let's just get a little perspective with breath. Okay, Christine says, today my keyboard is still acting up. I can't comment and keep listening. It's one or the other, not both. Arg, matey. All right, so then just listen. If you can't do both, don't fight it. Find a way around it. You can persist, but without the frustration. Like, come hell or high water, I'm going to fix that damn keyboard. No. That's not the vibe we're going to use to heal. It's not, okay? The vibe we're going to use to heal is, I'm frustrated. Okay. What's the problem? The keyboard, the people at work, the thing that happened, Okay, 5 breaths. On the first breath, you inhale all the details. It's pissing me off. Blah, blah, blah. And they say this and they say that. Exhale. Let it go. Second breath. You're going to bring in just a couple of key words. What they did, what they said, what they didn't do. Exhale. You're going to let it go. Third breath, we start to find neutrality. And I'm talking long, deep breaths. Okay. Third breath. You bring it in. Oh, I was you yesterday. I might be you today, or I could be you tomorrow. Exhale. We're starting to let it go even more and taking responsibility for those feelings and letting go of the judgment. Fourth breath. Inhaling. Compassion. Yeah, you made a mistake. Benefit of the doubt. It's okay. It's starting to rectify. I can be part of the solution by not getting too frustrated. Even if I can't do anything, exhale. Inhale, fifth breath. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. Exhale, compassion, compassion, compassion. And you have, in 5 breaths, the ability to change not only how you feel, your whole chemistry, but the aura you output and how you help someone else in the room, in the neighborhood, in the world. You are that powerful. Does that make sense? We're going to do that today. Hey, Diana's here. All right. It can be frustrating. I understand. So I'm having a bunch of errands yesterday. No, was it? Yeah, yesterday. And I'm checking off my list. Everything's going great. Getting it done, getting it done, getting it done. Understanding there might be traffic. I could take this way. The credit card thing isn't working in that line at the supermarket. That's okay. I have planned. I have allotted for delays. I have allotted for these little anomalies, these hinkinesses, and possible frustrations. People are getting frustrated and they're getting upset with the cashier. And I say, look, you're doing a great job. It happens, right? It happens. So far, so great. And my last errand is to go to the library and pick up 3 books, which I put 3 on hold and they all had hold. So I thought, I'll read one for a couple of weeks and the next one will come in. Well, anyway, they all come in at once. Okay, I'm going to beta test them. So I'm standing at the desk, and the gentleman behind the desk is sitting. He takes my card, checks out my 3 books. I put my phone down on the counter, far away from the edge, and I turn to the other clerk and I say, I'm here with eyeglasses, children's eyeglasses to donate. I don't see the box. And she said, let me go see if I can find it, the donation box for used prescription glasses. So she's going. And she comes back and we're chatting and we're just, I just turn and I'm talking to her and I don't know what happened. Maybe they came and they picked it up. I'll have to check, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no problem. I'll just keep the glasses and maybe find another place. All of a sudden, the clerk, gentleman behind the counter, sitting at his desk, had a spastic fit. And he took my 3 books, which, these are thick books. Okay, 3 books. And he shoved them to the edge of the desk. And my phone went flying. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. That's my phone. Dude, I'm thinking. And I picked up my phone. And now I have to implement what I teach. First breath. You bleepity bleeping mother bleeping. And I went on in my head while I'm looking at the phone. And he starts to apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know there was anything there. So I let go. I'm on my second breath now. Now, just a couple of key words. Okay. Well, I say, while I'm multitasking in my brain and compartmentalizing and sectioning off, healing, forgiveness, compassion, breathing, rage, annoyance, and checking my phone. Well, it doesn't seem to be cracked, I say to him. And then breath number 3, I'm neutralizing. I'm neutralizing as I go. I was you yesterday, I will be you today, or I might be you tomorrow. 4th breath, I say, let me turn it on. So I turn it on and I say, well, it seems to be functioning. And he apologizes one more time. I'm really sorry, in this tone. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I guess he was horribly embarrassed. 4th breath, I'm putting more compassion into the world and letting go with forgiveness. 5th breath, it's, I got this. It's okay. Of course, when I went into the car, I had a Tourette's syndrome fit-ish and let that go and did another 5 breaths in that order. And then I went home and asked my husband to please give me a hug now so you can connect me to something that is meaningful. Because those little annoyances about the phone flying with the books being pushed, we've all done something stupid. We've all done something without thinking. We all have. So when we look at the 5 breaths of healing and the stages that you can undergo, I want you to implement them. Implement them, because what you're doing is learning how to raise your frequency. It's great to meditate when you're happy. Oh yeah, I'm meditating. I feel great. I'm connected to the divine. I'm pure conscious love. I'm so intuitive. And then stuff starts to fly. Bleepity, bleepity, bleep isn't working. And that's when you lose all your power. To that moment, to that amygdala in the center of your head that wants to cause harm, that wants to, clout the air with annoyances. And they could have done this, and the judgments, and they should have. 5 breaths in that order. Making sense? We get it? Good message today, says Rhonda. Because I had to apply it myself. I'm going to do a little reading for the group with the Astro dice. Ba-ba-da-ba. One represents the planets or the celestial spheres. That includes the moon, the sun, and the nodes. And the other are actual signs, astrological signs. And then the third are the houses. So one is what's happening, the second is how it feels, and the third is where it's showing up. So let's do that right now. A communal message. I'm calling on and invoking the energies of my starseed, my planetary alliances, the great councils, angelic realm, to help us today to focus on when we have these hinky fits, when we want to succumb to the lower vibe and the lower frequency, when we know better. We are more conscious than that. We are the ones leading the way. We are the ones who have the ability to utilize our power, right, in 5 breaths to minimize the judgment and the harm. And within minutes, possibly seconds when you get to it, put compassion and love into the world, because that then ripples through everyone and everything around you. Let's do that, shall we? All right, let's roll the dice. Okay. We got what's happening, transformation, Aquarius, higher vibe transformation, possibly technological issues, because we also got how it feels, Mercury in retrograde. So, and Mercury is going to be going in retrograde in Aquarius on March 4th-ish, 5th-ish, depending on where you live in the world. Where is it? There it is. So what's happening is your transformation, a little at a time, through what? Your perceptions. Mercury represents your perceptions. And where does it take place? 11th house, groups, people, friends, associates, mentors, elders, grandparents, your dreams, all the people that you're involved with at work, at home. I love these dice, and I love, anything can be used as a divination device. Stains on your carpet, okay? It's the power to utilize focus with trusting that what comes through in white light, in pure conscious love light, helps you to see the truth. So what's happening? Your transformation, Aquarius, your perceptions. I just lost it. Where is it? Mercury. Where? With people. I'll drink to that one. So when your perceptions go a little awry, oh my, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, it helps to understand the ability to heal yourself and others in minutes, in seconds, by being the example, by being the adult in the room. I'm also going to pull some awareness cards for the moment. How is everyone doing today? Come say hello to me. I'm very excited. A dear friend gifted a reading to me with someone that they know. I'm a new person, new friend in the biz. I'm going to get a little gift today, and I'm so excited. How's everyone doing with their frustration? Are you willing to use this 5 breath technique? I have to give it a name. Any suggestions? 5 breaths. It's 5 levels as you go deeper and further in. And these are long, deep breaths. So you start off with the first breath and all the blame, judgment, cursing in your head. Blah, blah, blah. As you're inhaling, very long, deep. And as you exhale, you just start to let that go. You let those words go. The 4th breath, just some key words that pissed you off. Incompetence, narcissism, stupidity, whatever words you want to use, you just pull them in on that 4th breath, and then you let them go. And then the 3rd breath, we start to find neutrality. I was you yesterday. I might be you today, or I might be you tomorrow. Let it go. 4th breath. We are bringing in forgiveness. And then exhaling, compassion. And then the fifth breath is the most powerful, from the belly all the way up into the chest. Compassion and forgiveness, extending that into the world. Make sense? Simple technique. It just takes your ability to break the pattern and get out of the groove. Sometimes we get stuck in a loop where I can't let it go. I can't let this go. It's like Carol in The Walking Dead. I can't let this go. And then because of her frustration, oh, no spoilers. Well, you'll know if you're a Walking Dead fan. Okay, letting it go. Exactly the words. Here, listening. Good. Listening. Apply. So when you apply these breaths and the conscious intention to step it from one section to another in your mind, in your body, you make a connection, a body-mind-spirit connection that produces pure conscious love. You elevate your awareness into a more divine space, into a more pure conscious love space. It doesn't mean you didn't get pissed off. It doesn't mean, enlightenment, who came up with, it's like, yeah, once you're enlightened, dude, there's no problem ever. There's no problem. You feel great all the time. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed. Okay, I don't know where that came from. But yeah, it's not true. You feel it, but you can breathe and move through it energetically within seconds. That is enlightenment. You don't attach to it. You let go of the need to harm. Bartholomew, who I used to listen to and read years ago in my early days, used to say that if you can be, here's the card I just pulled, perfection. Yeah, let's talk about that. If you can be 51% harmless, yeah, you have a chance at great amounts of insight, intuition, enlightenment, and healing for self and others. Facilitator. You cannot heal anyone unless you are an ascended avatar. Even then, the divine cannot enter or exit without your permission. So, as stubborn as we can be, you can be so stubborn that you refuse to allow to receive a healing. So when people call themselves healers, I take a little bit of, I'm not upset about it. I want them to understand that I can stand in front of them with, a rash and go, heal me. And they can lay their hands on me. They can give me herbs, pills, incantations, we're reading. And if I refuse to accept that healing, I'm not going to heal, right? So it's up to you to overcome your own inner resistance to receiving and allowing. And that takes time and trust and a redefinition of perfection, okay? So what is perfection? People think it's you do something, you get it right, it's done. Wow, ever, never will it change. My definition over the years has become that if you are moving toward compassion in as many moments as possible, you're already in a state of perfection. It doesn't mean you get it right and you're done. All right, checking that off my list. Now I can leave. Stop the world, I want to get off. No, it continues, wherever we go, right? So perfection is not, it's done. Perfection is, it's now transmuted to its next highest self. Then what's its purpose and application? To be continued, to be discovered in the series, in the sequel to you. That's the beauty of it. Monday, I'm going to talk more about the Venus in retrograde and how the overlap of these two retrogrades starting in mid-May through June is going to help you alter your perceptions. And the 5-pointed Venus star that I've been talking about. And I'm going to come in with, I was going to have some today, but I was giving people more of a chance to return the survey to me. Okay, last two cards before we we move on, and that is polarity. Okay, polarity. Polarity, people would call it opposites, male, female. But now what's being injected into the world is the idea that a person's identity does not necessarily have to define them based on their biology, right? Gender, non-specific, non-binary, pan, etc. So a polarity of energy is where you assume one side, but not the other, and the bridge that gets you there. So when I talk about polarity, especially when it comes to giving and receiving, these are both verbs. The thing in the middle, the allowing part, is the bridge you open energetically with all your chakras, all your energy centers, all your bodies, the etheric body, the celestial body, the ka, your physical, emotional body. When you accept that there is a body, mind, spirit connection, and at the core of it is the spiritual atom, ATOM, and where all polarities come together, where that moment of brilliance is the moment of awareness. And you can have many of those during the day, the year, the week, the lifetime. But the one I'm talking about is when you know you have an issue. For instance, when you're really upset about something, is it repetitive? Do you keep getting upset with the same person, or is it the same issue that keeps coming up? That's because you have a polarity. And you want to look at that polarity. What is the opposite? Let's use a different word. What's the opposite to the problem? What would the solution be? And then suddenly tell yourself, yeah, it's all good. There are no problems because I'm working on my solution, because I'm moving toward compassion in as many moments as possible. And that is my state of perfection, because it's a process. We are processing, but what we need really with this polarity is a vision. Thank you, universe, for that one. Because the vision requires repetitive action, thought, and feeling in order for it to become manifest. Make sense? So if you're in a polar opposite state, I don't know what state is that. How many states are in the United States? Well, I think we should add one called the polar opposite state. It's somewhere around Hawaii, I think, or maybe north of Maine. The polar opposite state is when you're feeling that thing, especially when you're riding a high, and high is, what's the polar opposite of high? The low. Let's find the neutral place before we smash all the things that we've been building toward the vision. And then we go, oh, it's not going to happen. We got to let things go. You can't hang on to the balloon string and expect the balloon to fly. So if you create here on the fly right now, we're going to do an energy exercise. So you take a seed in your mind, your heart, your body, the whole connection. And what's that one seed? Healing, self-actualization. That's a high ideal. How about productivity or compassion or anything that you want to accomplish? One thing, one seed, and you put it in the palm of your hand, and now you start to shape it really through a meditation. Your eyes are closed, you're breathing, you're stretching it like dough, like something amorphous. It's beautiful. It's moving. It's so beautiful. It's filled with rainbows and colors you don't even see yet. And as it grows, you start to feel it. Your hands are tingling. And this ball of energy with the seed of you in it, with your intention, with your vision, starts to grow. Now, it may not be ready because suddenly the phone rings and you have to get that call. Or you're really upset because, you got a head cold and you've got to travel and you can't, and you got to change plans. And so you take this and you just put it aside. Put it on a table. There, over there. Let's put it over there. Oops, I disappeared. or put it on a dresser and let it sit there. And then you deal with your polarity and your extremes, and you come back through breath with the 5 breaths of compassion and the transformation it can afford. And then you say, okay, let me get back to my vision, back to my vision because I've just dealt with my polarity. Because if you've got the polarity, it's in the way, your vision will never manifest. Or if it does, it's not wholehearted. Or it's not the picture. I wanted a green car. Why are they only showing me yellow? So you pick that thing up again and you continue. And you see it grow, and you see it grow, and you see it grow until you do not be hasty. No hastiness. Peregrine Took would say in the Hobbit. So you grow it, you infuse it with your vision, your energy, your love, your compassion, your belief, your trust in timing. And when you feel that this thing is solid, it almost feels like you can't even bring your hands together because it's so real. You pick it up and you let it go, trusting that the universe will take it and bring it back to you in time to fulfill the order. So what do you do in the meantime? You focus on healing those polarities, those gaps, bringing the extremes together into that moment so that your balloon can come back filled with the treasure and the intention. Does that make sense? All right, folks. Yeah. The present moment. We can talk about it, but you want to listen to the shadow in the Mercury in retrograde in Pisces. You want to listen to that shadow. Oh, wow, this is so great. I'm having such a great time. And in the back of your head, it's like, oh, I can't wait to go home. When's this thing going to be over? I'm done. So if you've got, that's the polarity. There's like two you've got like double speak in your head. It's Gollum, Master is my friend. No, he's tricksy. No, Master is my friend. It's psychotic behavior in a mild, quiet, subdued way. It's a little psychosis we have of polarity. So when you don't believe something can happen, when you don't trust it, that's where you need to go. That's the shadow. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you have to bring up in order to heal, and then bring it together, fuse it, heal it with trust, with writing exercise, chanting, having readings, body work, network spinal analysis technique, NAET, whatever method, using crystals, whatever method that you feel is speaking to you at the time. And that's where you need to go. Making sense? Hi, everybody. All right, now you can use those 5 healing breaths to get you to the next place, the next moment, the next vision, the next phone call, the next email, the next negative thought. And then you say, okay, the negative thoughts exist in my brain to protect me from harm. But now I'm becoming more conscious, so I can give my ego a job. My ego is there to regulate my biology. Gotta keep you safe. Gotta keep you safe. Hey, you're hungry. You're not eating. I'm going to give you stomach pains. So you give your ego a job. And that means it's going to alert you like a personal assistant that you need something done. Or that you need to have that conversation with someone and set up a time where it's mutual, and then put love into the room, put love into the conversation instead of fear, mistrust, defense. You do those 5 healing breaths, and then you'll come to that place of, oh, okay, it's not so bad. There have been worse things. If you're watching this, you have a computer, which means you have electricity, which means you have the money to pay for electricity, which means you are the 1% of the planet with this privilege. Let's put that in perspective when we start complaining about the niggly little hinky things that happen in life and affects us all. Really affects us all. But you don't have to take a plastic bottle 2 miles to the river to fill it for your daily water. Let's be real, okay? And put gratitude in place of, oh, I can't, it never, No, I'm there. I'm the first one to cry with you. I cry at Hallmark commercials, okay? So I have the empathy. But now it's time to take some of the power back and put it into the world with compassion and be that Mojo Mystic that I know you can be. I will be back on Monday. Yes, I will. Monday, para. 10 a.m. Arizona time. And hey, folks, thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. This is a joy for me. to share with you, and I'll be back on Monday. Have a beautiful, wonderful, magical weekend filled with possibilities and the end of polarities. Let's go there and then have a cookie. See you again. Bye.